from the Curse of the Spawn series. This is a review of Curse of the Spawn 2 variant version. Alright everyone, it's your friendly neighborhood YouTuber, and we are back at it again with another action figure review, another Spawn review. I'm doing a lot of horror, a lot of Spawn reviews for the month of October. Of course, we're celebrating the 31 days of Halloween. I was going to say 31 nights of Halloween, but somebody already took that. Okay, so today we are going to be looking at Curse of the Spawn 2 variant version. Now, if this guy looks familiar, well, you probably are or have already seen him. And if the title sounds familiar, it's because I've already reviewed the variant version over here. Curse of the Spawn 2, this is the bloody one right here. This is kind of the bonesy one, if there is such a word as bonesy. And then over there is the original Curse of the Spawn. I believe Curse of the Spawn 1, he was from the early 90s, if I believe so. I did a review of that one as well. So, yeah, if you want to check out either of those reviews, please check it out. But we're going to do some comparisons nonetheless. Now, this one came out in the Curse of the Spawn series. This guy over here came out in the Spawn Reborn series. So he came out first, second, and then third. Now, essentially, the Curse of the Spawn variant, if that's what you want to call it, that's what I'm calling it, because essentially it's the same mold, same body type, same articulation, same pretty much everything except this is bones as opposed to this is blood, and that's armor in that one. But we'll take a look at this one first, and then we'll do a comparison of that Curse of the Spawn. Now, this is one of my favorite figures, one of my favorite Spawn figures. It could have been better if he had better articulation. He would have been one of my favorites. He still is because of his design and the way he looks. But the articulation on this figure really, really sucks. I'm just being real with you guys. It really, really sucks. So essentially, he just has your basic 90s articulation. Arm just moves up and down. It doesn't extend out. It just moves up and down. No bend at the elbows. He does have this swivel right here at the elbow. Wrist swivel. Head articulation, it can move barely. And then nothing at the waist, nothing at the chest, and it just has these weird breaks right here at the legs, pelvic area, if that's what you want to call it. And there's no knee bend, no ankle articulation at all. So I've said this many times in many reviews, guys. He is an articulated statue. That's what he is. But he's a beautiful articulated statue nonetheless. Now, we do have some accessories for this Curse of the Spawn 2. Now, I don't know how familiar you guys are with my channel, but if you saw this review of Curse of the Spawn, I was doing a review of this Curse of the Spawn, and then I saw these two peg holes on the back. I'm like, what the hell do these two peg holes belong to? And then somebody pointed out to me, oh, there's a variant version of this guy, and he does come with wings right there that you can peg in. So let's get to the pegging, right? So let's peg these wings in right here. They go into this right here. I'm not even going to attempt to peg the wings into there because they don't really match up at all, because there is no bone on him. He's got armor on him, as opposed to this one. This one is all bones. And you peg this into here. And then, I don't know, I feel like this wing is kind of messed up. It's kind of like, it kind of looks bent, but I guess maybe that's the way it goes. the bent wing. He also does come with some bats if you want to put some bats on him. I'm not really for sure. I mean, we'll put it on there just because they go onto his little spiked bones. Right here, they just kind of peg in and just kind of sit right there. And boom. So if you want to get crazy and put some bats on him, I guess you can. I don't really like the bats on him. I like the bats on this guy right here. I mean, this is okay, but not really. It's a little bit too much because he does have the wings. I do like the bat effect. Maybe I'll save it for something else. Okay, guys, being that we can't really talk much about his articulation. Oh, yeah, he does come with a weapon as well. This weapon right here, I'm pretty sure is his. I bought this figure loose. But he doesn't really need a weapon. It would be nice if he had a weapon, you know. And his hands are sculpted weirdly, too, as well. He's got one open hand right here with the fingernails. And then he's got one semi-closed one that can hold like an axe similar to this. Or not like an axe, but like a sword. Similar to that. So let's check out the detail of this Curse of the Spawn. And it's beautifully, beautifully done. Like I said, I think I said this with previous Curse of the Spawn too, is the detail on it is just immaculate. It has like a really Freddy Krueger-esque vibe. Also kind of like a Hellraiser vibe. If you guys remember that movie where, let me fix my camera, a little crooked. If you remember that scene with the bloody, I can't remember the name of the main character, but you guys know what I'm talking about, the bloody version of him. Where he was trying to regenerate himself to become a human being. He was the bloody version. It was a very, very bloody individual. So here's the back of him. Yeah, and it just reminds me, that right there, just reminds me so much of Hellraiser. There's the bones with the spikes coming out, the spiked bones. Spawn's butt. And you can see, too, he also does have that gray, like, armor, necro armor, I guess if that's what you want to call it, in the back. But here is Spawn. Let me take these bats off. Yeah, let me take these bats off real quick. Lift up his cape, and you can see the similarities there. It's just painted differently, where this is armor, his necro armor, this is kind of his skin right here. And then whereas the bones are at right here, these bones, these are armor right here. You see what I'm saying? Bones, they just painted it white as in bone, color. I was trying to think of something intelligent to say, but it's just bone, the color of bone, and then there's this armor. So essentially, it's the same sculpt, it's just painted differently. He has the bone armor, he has looks like a regular, like, necro armor. And then the only difference is, he has the same spikes and everything, the only difference is this guy right here has the red cape, whereas opposed to this guy has the wings, the bone wings. I can't say bat wings, it's kind of like the bone wings. So here's the comparison. And I love the green eyes of this guy. When I did a review of this Curse of the Spawn 2, the green eyes on this guy is just really, really awesome. This guy, he kind of has like a greenish yellow. It's not as eye-catching as this one. Get it? Eye-catching. Ha ha ha. Okay. And then he has the skulls right here. They're just different colors. The chest armor, you see this one's a little bit more bloodier. The two skulls on the chest. Essentially the same figure, just painted differently. And I like both of them equally, man. I don't think I have a favorite, because I do like the wings of this one, and I do like the coloring and detail, but I do like the armor effect of this one, and I do like the bloodiness of this one. And there's the Curse of the Spawn. And I guess Curse of the Spawn wanted to make a little entrance, so we'll bring out Curse of the Spawn right here. Now, this Curse of the Spawn is not really complete. He does have armor, which I don't put on him because I actually like the sculpt of his body. So I left a lot of this armor, the bone armor, off of him. So the original Curse of the Spawn kind of takes more after this one than the previous one that I just showed you. But this is the original Curse of the Spawn. If you guys didn't see a review of that one, check it out. I think this was like one of the first reviews I did when I moved into my previous new place, like over a year ago. And his weapons doesn't really stay that well in his hand. But this Curse of the Spawn is a beautiful, beautiful display piece. Nonetheless, I do like this Curse of the Spawn. And if you love Spawn figures, you're probably not going to be disappointed if you pick this guy up. Okay, so let's do a measurement of the Curse of the Spawn 2 variant version. So he stands at just a little bit under 7.5 inches, or excuse me, 7 inches. Wingspan is probably about 8.5 inches, his wingspan. We'll go into a closer detail for you guys so you can take a better look at this guy. And his eyes do light up very nicely when light is reflected off of it. The detail on this guy is pretty nice, I have to admit. Even though it's the same mold, and they used different colors, but it's still the bone texture. They did an amazing job. And there's a spinal cord. I didn't even notice the spinal cord. His head, his bloody head. And I like the way it glistens too. You see the blood, how when the light hits it, it glistens like the blood is still wet, still liquidy. I think I introduced 2 new terms today, liquidy and bonesy. 2 new words. You're welcome. I'm educating the world by providing new words. It's very liquidy and very bonesy, this Curse of the Spawn 2 variant. Okay guys, so let me give you my rating of this Curse of the Spawn 2. Amazing detail, nice display piece. If you guys, open your action figures like I do and put them on display, he is a nice display piece. If you are a Spawn fan, yeah, I definitely recommend him. I mean, even if you're not a Spawn fan, and you like creepy, cool, horror-based figures, I definitely do believe this would go very, very well in your collection. And it's a unique piece, too, as well. If you don't collect Spawn figures, this guy doesn't necessarily scream Spawn. He just kind of is what he is, you know what I mean? Well, like when you look at him, if you see him on your shelf, you're not necessarily thinking Spawn because he doesn't have that Spawn wardrobe. Even though they try to make it Spawn-esque, with the design, but he's not, he's not really Spawn-esque, if that makes any sense whatsoever. I think you guys understood where I was coming from. Okay, guys. On a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, I'm going to give this guy a solid 8. This is simply based on the sculpt and the design overall. He's a very, very, very nice piece. I do recommend him if you're a horror collector, if you're a Spawn fan, I definitely say pick him up. Alright guys, so we'll leave it at that. Tell me what you guys think of this little review of this little Spawn 2 variant version. Do you guys like him? Do you own him? Do you plan on picking him up? Let me know your thoughts on this figure. And we're going to go ahead and leave it at that, guys. Leave your thoughts in the comments. If you like this video, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you want to receive more cool, awesome, creepy reviews like this. And there you guys have it. There was my little review of the Curse of the Spawn 2 variant version. I just want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.